the very important question of land rights and the issue of the poor is being discussed here. It is very important to note that there is a very close link between land rights and the entire issue of overcoming poverty anywhere in the world. It is linked to the dignity of the people, it is linked to the economic security of the people, and it is also linked to greater freedom for all across the world. So land rights is a very important aspect for the Communist Party of India, Marxist, and for all the toiling people of our country. So if you look at the situation in our country, from the time of the British period, especially from 1930s onwards, when the All India Kisan Sabha was formed in 1936, there have been major struggles for land rights with the slogan of the land to the tiller. Whoever is tilling the land should be the owner of the land. All the tenant cultivators should have rights over land. Agriculture workers, landless agriculture workers should have rights over land, especially the homestead land. These were the demands that the Red Flag took up during the independence struggle. It was a struggle against the imperialism as well as a struggle against the feudal landlordism. The Communist Party as well as the All India Kisan Sabha was inspired by the Russian Revolution. And during the Russian Revolution, one of the important slogans raised was peace, land and bread. Similarly, in 1940s, in India, it was a time when there were many famines in different parts of India. In Bengal alone, the Great Bengal Famine in 1943, more than 30 lakh people are said to have died in that famine. At the same time, in 1943, in Kerala, almost 1 lakh people died due to the famine. So, the Red Flag gave the call for land, food and freedom. That was the call given by the Red Flag. In many regions, many villages, I come from Kerala, in almost every village against the zamindars, there were struggles. There were they were hoarding the grains of the produced by the farmers. So there were struggles called Nelleduppu Samaram in every village where the grains were collected and the Kisan Sabha or at that time the Indian National Congress distributed the grains through the fair price shops. That was a tradition that the All India Kisan Sabha and the Communist Party developed in our country. The Indian National Congress and the All India Muslim League were forced by the pressure of these struggles under the Red Flag that the Indian National Congress was forced to set up the J.C. Kumarappa Commission, and the Muslim League also in their manifesto came with the promise that land would be distributed to the landless and the actual cultivators. The J.C. Kumarappa Commission also recommended that land should be given to the tiller. This is just before the independence that these J.C. Kumarappa Commission report came out. And what happened after independence? In 1947, August 15th, we got independence. Also, Pakistan, one day on August 14th, there was the formation of Pakistan due to the partition. In both these countries, the ruling classes subverted the demand for land rights. That is what we see. In Pakistan, holding of the manifesto of the Muslim League was considered anti-national. They could be arrested. In India, a compromise between the bourgeoisie and the landlord sections led to subversion of land reforms. That is what we see in our country. But in India, there was a very revolutionary struggle in the Telangana region, that is for land rights against the zamindari system, where lakhs of acres of land could be liberated by a armed struggle by the farmers and agriculture workers led by the Communist Party. Lakhs of acres could be liberated, and a situation where one zamindar alone would have control over hundreds of villages, that could be changed, and the actual cultivators got the land rights. But the ruling classes used the Indian army to suppress that movement. Thousands and thousands were arrested and put in jail, and thousands of people were killed. There were struggles in Kerala, there were struggles in Tamilnadu, there were struggles in Assam, Punjab, every part of India. Struggles for land rights were conducted. The ruling classes were also forced to come with some kind of reforms. Zamindari Abolition Act, land ceilings were put into place. But what happened? If you look at the first 5-year plan, the allocation for agriculture and allied sector, irrigation, rural development, more than what was allocated for that was given as compensation to the landlords. About 690 crores was given in 1950s to the landlords, whose land was supposed to be given to the landless people. But the landlord sections got this 690 crores and also distributed their land in the names of different family members, in Benami accounts, including in some places in the names of their cows and buffaloes, that the land has been given. So that kind of a situation existed. It is only in 1957 in Kerala, on the basis of these continuous struggles, the Communist Party government comes to power under the leadership of Comrade EMS Nambudripad. Within 4 days of coming to power, they ensured that there cannot be eviction of the tenants. Land rights for the homestead, land rights for the agriculture workers. And due to our struggles in Kerala alone, altogether more than 35 lakh people benefited from the land reforms there. Little before that, in Jammu and Kashmir also, land was distributed, because there also the ceiling was fixed at 22 acres, and lakhs of people benefited from the land that was distributed, thereby ending Jagirdari system or Zamindari system in Jammu and Kashmir also. When India got independence, and in the very initial years, one of the great planners, economist, P.C. Mahalanobis, he had estimated that totally 6 crore acres of surplus land would be available for distribution. But that has not been distributed, because the landlords could retain that land in their own control. It is only in Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Bengal, West Bengal and Tripura that land has been distributed, and in Kerala, West Bengal and Tripura under the leadership of the Communist Party of India, Marxist. And of all the land distributed in India, more than 50% of the land distributed in West Bengal. That is the situation. And there, more than the population of the Dalits, SC, ST community, more than that land has been distributed. If you see the proportion of land distributed, more has been given for the SC, STs. The poorest of the poor have got land. That is the model that the Communist Party has put before our country here. What is the situation in other parts of the country? About Tamil Nadu, other comrades here will also speak. In the state of Odisha, according to our comrades, more than 75 lakh acres of surplus land, but there are 36 lakh landless people. Land is not being distributed. In Bihar, the D. Bandyopadhyay Commission identified that surplus land is there, that around 23 lakh farmers and agriculture workers can be given at least close to 1.7 acres of land. That much of surplus land is available. But the governments in Bihar are not giving this land. In Karnataka, more than 30 lakh people are cultivating government surplus land for many years. Now they are called Bagher Hukum cultivators. Bagher Hukum cultivators, that is no land patta. They are being denied the land rights. In Andhra and Telangana, the Koneru Rangarao Commission identified that lakhs of acres can be distributed, ceiling surplus land is available for distribution, but it is not being distributed. This is the difference between a left front government and the communist and the other non-left parties which are ruling our country. They are not interested in land reforms. They have subverted the ceiling acts. They have subverted the land reforms. That is the history that we see in our country. You must have all seen the Kisan Long March from Nasik to Mumbai. More than 50,000 people in 2018, March 2018, in the hot sun, marched 186 kilometers to Mumbai. What were the demands? One of the main demands was for land rights for the landless. And there are people who are cultivating temple lands. In Tamil Nadu also temple lands, lot of land under temples and mutts. Comrade Swami Natarajan will speak about that. But in the entire country, if you look, in Odisha, the biggest landlord is Lord Jagannath. He has more than almost 61,000 acres in the name of Lord Jagannath. Biggest landlord. That is the situation in name of different temples. Across the country, in Tamil Nadu, I think it is about 4.78 lakh acres. In 2022, only in Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, more than 10 lakh acres under temple and mutts. If you look at the other parts of India, we can understand that there must be at least 1 crore acres under the control of temples and mutts. That is not being given to the landless. People are cultivating, but they are not giving land rights to the people. That is the situation in many of these countries. There is also about 9.4 lakh acres of Waqf land across India under Muslim religious institutions. 9.4 lakh acres. Many of these areas, people are cultivating, people are staying, but they are not having land rights. So that is also a situation which we have been demanding, that there should be land rights given to them. Due to our struggles, in 2006, the Forest Rights Act was passed to give the rights for forest dwellers and Adivasis. Lakhs and lakhs of acres, which should actually belong to the Adivasi people, is being now taken over in the name of tiger conservation, elephant corridors, in the name of ecotourism, and in the name of mining and industrialization. That is a situation that we are finding in our country. This has to be fought. This is entirely an attack on the rights of the forest dwellers and Adivasis. In 2001, according to the census, there were 12 crore 73 lakh landholding farmers. 12 crore 73 lakh landholding farmers. In 2011, only 11 crore 87 lakh farmers, landholding farmers. So in 10 years, in 2001, 12 crore 73 lakh landholding farmers. In 2011, 11 crore 87 lakh landholding farmers. So in 10 years, about 86 lakh farmers decline in number of farmers, landholding farmers. And in the same time, landless agriculture workers were about 10 crore 67 lakh in 2001. It increased to 14 crore 43 lakh in 2011. There is a mismatch there, because not exactly the number which has declined, but this is the huge number. In 1 hour that we are speaking here, at least 100 farmers would lose their land. This means that every year about 72,000 farmers, every year about 8.6 lakh owner farmers are losing their land. Every month 72,000 farmers are losing their land. Every day at least 2,000 farmers are losing their land, according to this 2001 and 2011 census. If you make a calculation, today there are 14.4 crores of landless workers in our country. That is the height of landlessness that is there. And whereas the top 7% of the households, they are holding about 50% of the land. In such a circumstance, there is huge land acquisition that is going on. Earlier, under the British Land Acquisition Act, lakhs and lakhs of acres are being taken. There is no land to give to the farmers and agriculture workers. But in the name of industrial land parks in India, there are 4,063 designated industrial land parks, and total 63 industrial land parks, and totally 17 lakh 29,737 acres has been set aside for these industrial parks. In 15 years, from 2008 onwards, more than 7,50,000 acres of forest land has been converted. And if you look at the acquisition that is going on, huge acquisition going in the name of SEZ and different infrastructural projects and so on, which is, I can give some examples. The Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, 1,483 kilometer long, passes through 6 states. And not just how much is required for a road, but much, much more is being acquired for in the name of these corridors. Different corridors. There is the Andhra Pradesh corridor alone, in this East Coast Economic Corridor. In Andhra Pradesh, almost 80,000 acres of land will be acquired. Chennai-Bengaluru Industrial Corridor, 560 kilometer long, in which about 48,000 acres are being acquired. The Amritsar-Calcutta Industrial Corridor, about 1,840 kilometer long, in which thousands of acres are being also acquired in this. The Andhra Pradesh Capital Region Development Authority, total comes to about 21 lakh acres. Coastal economic zones, about 12 lakh acres. So that is the huge nature of acquisition that is going on across our country. So today, it is not just against the landlords that we are to fight. We also have to fight against this land acquisition to keep alive the dream of land reforms and land for the landless people. That is very much important. According to the Land Conflict Watch, more than 906 conflicts are more than 906 land conflicts are reported, which is affecting more than 1 crore people and more than 49 lakh hectares of land in India. Conflicts are going on in different parts of India. It is in this situation that 1% of the population is owning 40% of the wealth. 10% are owning 77% of wealth in our country. In such a unequal situation that we are fighting to protect our rights, very clearly this inaccessibility to land is the reason for the poverty, is the reason for the increasing suicides of farmers and all that. And it is to fight against this poverty, fight against landlessness. It is only the red flag which can fight for land rights. நிலம் எங்கள் உரிமை, நிலம் உரிமைக்காக போராடும் செங்கொடி இயக்கம் மட்டும். அது மாதிரி வறுமையின் நிறம் சிவப்பல்லை, வறுமையை மாற்ற வந்த நிறம் சிவப்பு என்று சொன்ன I would like to conclude. Thank you.